Thank you very much. The Honorable Dato Professor Dr. Sim, Minister of Local Government and Housing. Honorable Sharifah Hasida, Assistant Minister of Law. Yang berbahagia Dr. Elizabeth Lee Fuyen, Senior Executive Director of Sunway Education Group. Berbahagia Deputy State Secretaries, Heads of Government Departments, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my appreciation to Sunway Group and also the Center for Asia Leadership for inviting me this afternoon or this evening and giving me the honor to share with you on the issues that we face, but at the same time to enhance our management skill as a leader in this region, particularly in Sarawak. I would like to congratulate College Sunway and the Center for Asia Leadership for choosing Kuching as your venue for the second Leadership Forum. I hope by having the venue in Kuching, you will be able to know at least what Kuching is all about. It's not only about animal, but rather the human factor, which is very important in our pursuit for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, when talking about leadership, normally we think about the traits of that leader. The first thing is whether that leader has a vision or not. Once the leader has that vision, second is how to translate that vision into something that will benefit the constituents and your target group. And the third, of course, you want to bring something better from what it is today. In this context, it is my view that any leader that is going to bring forward to the future, he must visualize the future itself. What are the components that will drive development, that will drive people to upgrade their standard of living, and of course, to the betterment of that particular future. And that is where it is very appropriate that the Center for Leadership as well as College Sunway brings all the experts to Kuching and to share their views how to develop Malaysia as a whole in the context of the region, and particularly what Sarawak can do in order to realize the vision of the future. I once attended, this sort of forum, not this forum, but other forum. And when you go to any business school, the first thing they teach is how to manage change. Change is the key. And how are you going to manage that particular change? And in this respect, as you know, we are going towards 4.0. Industrial revolution that has somewhat influenced the way we think and also the way people live. 30 years ago, people are not obsessed with handphone. 30 years ago, people were not really obsessed with social media. But today, everything is determined by your handphone. Sometimes we forget our partner. We forget our wife or husband as long as you don't forget the handphone. And at times, when you wake up, the first thing that you do is to look at your handphone, whether you got messages or not. And this is the way of life today. Meaning, how are you going to manage your time and the influence of technology to you? And today I would like to share with you from the Sarawak perspective. The first is the economic landscape that has really changed in this region. By saying so, what I mean is the way you run your business is very much influenced by how you command technology. You can go to any sphere of business. The first thing that you must have is technology. Be you are professional, lawyers, engineers, you need technology. Because sometimes if you lack technology, you feel that you are somewhat out of the sphere. So technology is very paramount when we want to move forward. And that is why when I became the Chief Minister, January 2017, the first thing that I did was to launch the digital economy, using technology as the main drive for us to move forward. And it is not an easy part, because you have to establish the ecosystem in this technology. We are lacking in terms of infrastructure, digital infrastructure. At the same time, you have to develop the talent. What happened is we put aside 1 billion ringgit immediately for us to upgrade our digital infrastructure. And we use Estonia as our model, because in Estonia, the whole country of 1.3 million, well, the population is slightly lower. Everything is done technologically. And for Sarawak, having an area of somewhat 124,000 square kilometers, you have to cover the whole state with a population of only 2.7 million, sparsely populated. Your only connectivity is by road. And we have to have this digital connectivity. And the speed has to be fast. Unfortunately, at the moment, there are black spots. Certain areas having no connectivity at all. If there is, the speed is only 5 Mbps, and to be shared by the population. That's why you have to see the circle coming in, instead of the information that you need. And therefore, it is a very difficult task for us in the government. Be as it may, we have to do it. And by now, we are steadily upgrading our infrastructure throughout the state, where we have regional outfit to be placed in order to connect the population, particularly the institution of higher learning. Once we have done that, then the second is talent development. We have to train our people on how to use technology. In agriculture, we have to use IoT. That will give you efficient production of your agricultural processes, while at the same time, when you market, you have to use your e-commerce to reach out to the market. When we were in school, we were told by Kotler that marketing, you have to use media, radio, television, and so forth. But today, it has changed. The whole marketing landscape has changed. What they call community-based marketing. As an example, Facebook has about, I understand, about 2 billion Facebook citizens, meaning that you can advertise your product using Facebook that will reach out to 2,000 potential customers. While at the same time, you must have your apps where you tend to tell the potential customer the products that you have. Meaning, marketing has changed. The one that I studied before is no more relevant. But today, it has really changed the whole landscape of marketing. But you must remember that your market transcends countries. Once you have that particular product, there is a demand for that product. What you do is just increase your product, production of a product, and sell to that particular market. As an example, Sarawak has managed to use this approach. Last year, there was an increase in the demand of durian paste by China. We never export our durian. But the last 2 years, we initiated the approach of using technology, and there is a demand of our durian paste by China. And last year, we export 100 tons of durian paste. Because of that, there is a demand of durian, so much so the farmers are now asking for durian seeds. They want to plant durian. Meaning, that is the way you go and manage your business, by using technology. The other one is there is a great stride in payment. Before, payment is done through checks or credit card. But today, we have to pay through your mobile payment, through your telephone also. That's why Sarawak launched Sarawak Pay, the first state in Malaysia to have official mobile payment. And now, we are collaborating, because collaboration is important for you to reach out to the market. We are collaborating with Singapore Net for us to settle whatever payment you have to make. And only last month, I had signed a collaboration agreement between Sarawak Pay and Union Pay of China. Meaning, everywhere you go, you don't have to bring your wallet, but you just bring your e-wallet. And that will enhance commercial transaction, and that will definitely expand your businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is the question of how you really try to match your strength with the market demand. As far as Sarawak is concerned, our strength is our resources. We are very fortunate, we are blessed with resources available. Number one is power. We have our own power system, and we are having the cheapest tariff in this region because we produce and have a potential of 24,000 megawatt from clean energy. Number two is, of course, we have our water. Water is important for the cooling system. If you have your data server, your data server needs a cooling system. And that's where we can provide that particular ecosystem if you store your server, especially in big data. And number three, our people quite resourceful. Once they know the technology, they will apply the technology. That's why I noticed today a lot of you are coming to hear what is going on globally in terms of how to manage the changes available now. For Sarawak, these resources are there. The question is to translate the resources into our strength in terms of comparative advantage for us to reach out to that particular market. That is where we feel that talent development is the key and education is the key. And command of language is important. Even if you have your devices, technological devices, you must be able to understand and how to operate your devices. The manual is all in English. So you have to read English and you must know English. And thank God, Sarawak, our official languages are still English and Bahasa Malaysia. We have not deviated from that. And in fact, last month, I was given a challenge by the Minister of Education Federal, whether Sarawak is willing to teach English in science and mathematics. I said, yes, Sarawak is willing. So we are the first state to accept that challenge. Having said that, now is our problem is to emphasize on these key strategic issues for us to develop ourselves towards the future. What is the future? For Sarawak, we have a target of 2030. 2030 to be a developed state. And that is the vision that we have. So along the way, we have to prepare ourselves, including injection of capital to add value to the resources that we have, while at the same time upgrading our infrastructure. That will become a prerequisite for us to develop our Google areas. As far as urban is concerned, we want to establish what we call smart cities. Everything is done smartly. Having a big data, convergence of data, having a central server, and you can retrieve your information through fast broadband. And this broadband is 5G. I know there are problems with Huawei, but Huawei has that technology of 5G. We are not interested in the politics of Huawei, between Huawei and US or whatever it is. We are only interested in their technology. And the people must be able to understand. And perhaps they can invent new technology themselves. And this is where communication is important. I understand with 5G, the speed is only 3 seconds. It's a real time. Meaning, if you have smart cities, you have all the gadgets there, perhaps you can mitigate crimes. You can also organize your public transport. You can also organize how are you going to build your city, recreational park, and then the lifestyle of the population. And this is the key if you want to become a developed state by the year 2030. For Sarawak, we are preparing for it. Actually, we have some already in place for us to move forward. And with that sort of scenario, I think we need people who are willing, who can do their part and have their expertise in certain areas such as data analytics, cyber security, but at the same time they are able to do program and design. This is the key. And with that sort of approach, managers of tomorrow, leaders of tomorrow, they must have this prerequisite. Otherwise, it is not compatible. If the leaders are not knowledgeable in this trend, including technology that are being employed, then your followers, you are not compatible with your followers. Once that happens, your followers will say, hey, what are you going to do? This chap, our leader, doesn't know anything about the modern management style. Meaning confidence level will drop, and then you have this human problem between a leader and the followers. And therefore, for the leaders of tomorrow, they have to know this, including myself. Otherwise, you are displaced in this changing environment. Again, this background, I therefore congratulate College Sunway for bringing the expert here. And I hope that you have gained certain insight on how to manage ourselves, how to manage the future. And I believe with this talent among you as leaders, we can change what we are having at the moment. To conclude, I just want to share, I'm sure you have read this, the quotation of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein said, life is just like a bicycle. You are riding a bicycle, you are moving. But at the same time, you must know how to balance your bicycle. In other words, to balance your movement, you must got all these inputs, and you must evaluate all these inputs in order for you to move forward to the future. I believe Harvard and college are giving this input, and the audience will get a good balancing act to ride on your new bicycle. With that, I thank you very much, and I hope you have benefit from this forum. Thank you.